Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video I am super excited because we're about to go see 28 Years Later, meaning me and my boyfriend, and I am so excited for this. This is obviously like a long anticipated film, and even though if you're fairly new to the channel you may not know, for my longtime viewers you may recall, when it comes to zombie films, not my favorite. They're not my favorite monsters, even though I literally have this real cute zombie t-shirt, but I have a select amount of zombie films that I enjoy. I've done a video on that before, and the 28 series is one of those. Whether you view it as like an infection versus zombie, whatever way you view this film, or series, trilogy I guess now, I actually did quite enjoy these ones. I did reviews, pretty sure I've reviewed both days and weeks, and so yeah, I'm really excited to watch this one. Now I wish that I would have taken the time to rewatch the other ones. I did not, which I think probably is a mistake going into this one, but I am going to try to just review it as its own film, review it for itself. And yeah, I'm really excited. I really didn't look much into this one other than knowing that it takes place, of course, 28 years later after, I'm guessing, the events of the first film. So really excited to check this one out. I feel like I've been avoiding things, so I haven't really seen what anyone who's seen it yet has said, but I feel like I have seen good things from what I have seen. So we'll see going into this one, and I will just let you guys know what my thoughts are. So just got out of seeing the movie, and holy shit, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot how kind of like traumatizing these films are, like so emotionally, and like not just the gore, like that is an aspect in this film, and it very much had the same stylization as the previous films. You know, we have like the flashes of the zombies, of the bodies when they're torn apart, things like that. That is very, you know, 28 series. They kept that, which of course important. So it definitely felt like it fit in with the other two, so I'll just start by saying that. But going into this, like I said, I didn't really know anything about it going in, and did not know that Aaron Taylor Johnson was in this film. I also, for anyone who has seen Young Royals, if you have not, highly recommend. But if you have seen that show, it is the actor that plays William in that is in this, and when he came on screen, I had a little fangirl moment in the movie theater, and I was just like heart-eyed through his character, not like in a romantic way of him, just because he's like way young, but I mean he's like 10 years younger than I am, but more so in the fact that I love that show. And so when the second I saw him, I was like, ah, I like gasped in the movie theater, which I'm sure I was probably like the only person, but so that was like a pleasant surprise going into this film. But okay, so I had to make a change of scenery. I don't know if you can tell how red I am, but that Nevada heat, it wasn't even 100 yet, and it felt like it in my car. So waited till I got home to finish the rest of this because I was feeling like a baked potato in there. But anyway, so like I was saying, pleasantly surprised by this cast. A lot of kind of familiar faces that I, like I said, went into this completely blind, was not necessarily expecting to see. The kid actor in this, phenomenal job. Definitely one of those like child actors that I feel like is gonna go places. Like sometimes you just see kid actor in something and you're like, yeah, they're phenomenal. So everyone did a really good job in this film. Like I said, it felt like a 28 later film in the sense of the zombies and the flashes, things like that. and the drama. I will say the character development took more of a front seat to the action that I feel like the previous films had. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of action and plenty of brutal killing in this film, but the characters definitely take a front seat, which makes a very emotional toll when all the things that happen in this film. Trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible, and so yeah, when things happen to these characters, you feel it for them for sure, which I feel like is something that the 28 days or the 28 later films have always been good about, even no matter how much like action-packed they are, which, like I said, I feel like is why I like these films, and it's just something that I enjoy within my zombie films, really within my like horror in general. But I will say, with that being said, there were some points that felt a little there were times where I felt a little bored. Not that there wasn't enough happening. I just felt myself drifting a little bit here and there throughout the film. And I will say that the ending of the film I didn't love. Again, it leads way to potential, I will say, without again giving away too much, it does lead way to potential for another film. It feels like there is going to be more that we're going to see of this young boy, Spike, that's his name, and we're going to see more of his journey in the future. At least that's how it felt. But with that being said, I felt like this film could have ended sooner. You know, we go through quite emotional toll, especially Spike's character does, and at one point, you know, we've just gone through something very dramatic and traumatizing, and then we're hit with this kind of ridiculous ending. If you've seen the film, you'll know, but that felt a little like, really? Like, you just had me crying and feeling a lot of feels, and that would have been a very good place to end things. And then we're hit with this ridiculousness at the end that just, it kind of took me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, again, it could have ended it a little bit differently, and I get wanting to introduce us to a character that is referenced throughout the film. That's all I'll kind of say on that, and then lead us to believing that there's going to be another one. But I don't know, felt like it could have just waited. I don't know. It just, again, it took me out a little bit. Like, I was taken in and out of this film either by some ridiculousness. It was nice that there were a couple of moments of laughter. There was one moment in particular where a joke is made where a lot of us are laughing in the movie theater, was laughing, which is kind of nice when you have so much seriousness going on in the film. But then to be completely rail the ending with some utter ridiculousness just felt kind of unnecessary. But all in all, I did thoroughly enjoy it. I think that if you are a fan of this series, if this is a film that you have been waiting for, I definitely think that it's worth checking out, going to see it in the theater. I, support horror films, support the theaters in general. So I definitely think that it is still worth checking out. Will I say it's my new favorite of the 28 films? No. I'd say the first one is probably still my favorite, but it was still a good, enjoyable film for the most part. And I do still, again, recommend checking it out, especially if you are a if you are a fan of this franchise. So if you have seen 28 Days Later, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below, whether or not you liked it. If you do, as always, if you are going to include any spoilers, make sure to just give a heads up in your comment, and I hope that you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up, and make sure you hit the subscribe button for more spooky and horror related content, and I will see you all again later with another video. Bye!